So basically the way we're going to cut this is measure for the length, and this is going to be quite a lengthy dress. I want to make it about 48 inches at the front. So we mark out for, measure the length, mark it out to about 46, and then curve it up for the neckline. We're not going to cut deep into the neckline. And then the shoulder measurements, which is going to be, I'm going to do it about, we'll do it about 16 and about 16. So measure about 8 inches across, and then the chest area, just measure what we want that at, 20, so 12 inches. That's what we want the chest area to be. And then you want to curve it for cutting off the armhole, and then you want to mark it 16 inches down. You want to mark the waist area, and we're going to do like a 12 inch for the waist area and blend that in. And then from here to the bottom of the dress, what we're going to do is basically the width that you want. Now the dress that we're going to make, we'll make it about 24 inches, and we're going to blend this in with the 24 inches, and then just a little point here, I want to make it slightly shorter at the front, so I'm going to slightly take off and curve this out. I'm going to take about 3 inches off, and that 3 inches I'm just going to blend it in with that, so it sort of gives like a look of slightly raised look. So that is the front, and what we're going to do now is just lift that off for a minute and slightly pull that, because this is where we're going to take our next piece out, just to save on the fabric and not waste too much. So I reckon you would need, probably get away with like 2 yards of fabric for this if it's a 60-inch wide fabric. I bought 2.5. So what we'll do is we'll probably get an outfit out for Inaya. So me and Inaya will have the same. I'll design hers slightly differently. Okay, so we'll just take half of this. Now the only thing we're going to do with the back is we're going to have it longer so that it gets the trailed effect. it's a little bit difficult to see. Just slightly bring it up. We don't want it as wide as from the top. Okay, so what we're going to do is chop away using that as our template. The only thing we're going to be doing is here, we're not going to follow the length of the front, but we're going to go just as it's curved towards the opposite side, we're going to curve it downwards so that it's longer at the back. And then that basically is all there is to cutting this. We're just going to cut the sleeves. This is the fabric that's left over. So in answer to one of the member questions was that if you were doing a cutting of a garment, where would you leave the excess fabric from? Would you leave it from the side, or would you leave it the longer ways? And that really depends on what intention you had to do with the fabric that was going to be left over. In this particular case, I've got fabric that's already attached here, and I'm going to leave that as the excess, because that way I'll get a longer piece left out from that side rather than this side. And I'm going to go for the sleeves from this side, purely for the fact that that's leaving me a slightly longer. Okay, so just measure for the sleeves and just cut. Before the battery runs out. So keep the sleeves 24. Just quickly measure this out and really just basically cut where before. And then that excess fabric that I have left over will work something wonders on that and make an outfit out of that, hopefully.